Well, good morning and welcome back to CityLine. With me, I have a fabulous individual who is here to talk about Pierce Conservation District. And if you don't know what that is, you're about ready to find out. Please join me in welcoming Camila Matamala-Ost. You are, first off, your name is amazing. You are the Outreach Specialist and Volunteer Coordinator for Pierce Conservation District. Welcome to CityLine.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
It is great to have you here. We have a lot to talk about. First off, I want to find out how long you have been at Pierce Conservation District and how did you get there?
Yeah, so I've been at Pierce Conservation District coming on 2 years in September.
Congrats.
Surprisingly, yeah. So I came to the Conservation District through a lot of different jobs. I studied environmental science in school and I've really enjoyed environmental science. And I also did a lot of volunteering and coordinating volunteers during that time. And so I had a lot of different environmental jobs and was always volunteering. And it ended up leading me to the Conservation District.
I love that. Wow. I mean, if that is not an example of do what you love, because anytime you're volunteering for something and then it turns into something that you can make a living and enjoy doing, bonus points for you.
Yeah.
Big time. So let's talk about what's a typical day like for you in your position before we get to what the Conservation District does.
Yeah, so I don't necessarily have a typical day. I mean, that's part of what I like about my job. I have a lot of different things that I do, so I'm always checking my emails to connect people, to connect volunteers to some of what we're doing. And depending on the year, I may be spending some time planning a big event that we have coming up, or I may be ordering some swag for our organization, doing some research on that, or just having meetings with different people in the organization and talking about how I can support them better, creating social media posts.
Perfect
Sometimes
job.
I try and get out and visit sites because it's nice to get outside, but I'm in the office a lot. So.
Perfect job for you, though. It's kind of a mixture of everything, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. So here's the big question that we've all been waiting to hear the answer to. What does the Conservation District do?
The Conservation District does so many different things. We're always trying to figure out how can we explain what we do better, but we're a part of the government that works with people to basically help the environment. And we work with people through education and through providing financial resources. So we're not a part of the government that is telling you what to do. We actually can't tell people what to do. That's not our arm. We're a lot about educating people about natural resources, a lot about connecting people to the land, because we started after a large environmental catastrophe, the Dust Bowl. So actually every county in the United States has a conservation district. So we were started as a way to prevent disasters like that from happening again, through the lens of education and encouragement. So we connect people to some of federal grants that are available to them, like farmers. We also encourage people to steward the land and volunteer. We also connect people to local food and support community gardens, because that's so important that's another part of agriculture that kind of we don't think of as agriculture, but really is, and
it is
really important, because the more green spaces we have, the better the water quality is for our orca and for our salmon. So we do a lot of different things, and I would say we're a organization that can connect you to what you can do to help the environment. We partner with so many people, so if you have something you want to do, if we don't do it, we could at least connect you with somebody who does.
Amazing. So in my mind, I see this big neon sign that says Pierce Conservation District equals resources.
Yes.
Education. That's. I spend half of my time on Vashon Island, and there is a huge conservation movement there, from farm to table to composting to water to all of that. And I see that same footprint here in Pierce County as well. And
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
really amazing because, and I see a lot of education with our younger people too, because, they need to understand about stormwater and recycling and all of those things, because we want to be able to have this world to hand to somebody else that's coming up as well, don't we?
Exactly.
We do.
Yeah.
There is an anniversary that Pierce Conservation District is celebrating. What number is it?
Our 70th anniversary, yeah. We started
Wow.
in 1949, so we're 70 years old.
You
I
look so
know.
young for 70.
I know, I'm so young.
You are. So what is the Conservation District doing to celebrate the big 70?
So one of the main things we're doing is we're having a 70 Days of Conservation campaign. So on social media, we're going to be sharing each day different ways that you can help the environment in your day-to-day life. And it's culminating, we just started a few days ago, and it's culminating with the last thing that we are suggesting you can do to help the environment, which is help out at Orca Recovery Day.
There we go.
So yeah, there's lots of different things like that you can do that are like really little, like taking your car to a car wash instead of washing at your house. I didn't know before I started working there that actually makes a big difference.
I didn't either until I had the Enviro House here, and they were talking about stormwater and drainage, about not to wash your car on the street.
Right.
If you have to, on the yard.
Right.
Because, then the water goes in the soil.
go.
But yeah, those little things like that.
Exactly. So if you follow us on social media, it's a good way just like every day to have something in your feed that is an idea of how you could help the environment.
I love that. So
Yeah.
we have some pictures here of some of the actions that people can take to make our community healthier. And so I want to roll those pictures, and I want you to talk about what we're going to see. Here we go. Okay, so what do we have here?
So that's a really cool event we have coming up. It's a community garden tour. I believe it's on September 21st. It's a tour of the different community gardens. That is habitat stewardship right there.
Oh, I love that.
Right. The habitat stewardship is basically we have some sites that we manage and we get rid of invasive species. Because like if we don't manage green spaces,
Right.
they kind of just turn into a
Like
pile of
blackberry
invasive
bushes.
Blackberry,
Yes.
knotweed. So we really need volunteers for those sites, and it's a really good way to like bond with your
Yeah,
family
it
and
is.
friends. And actually, City of Tacoma has habitat stewardship sites as well. So our main ones are in Puyallup and in like University Place area.
I love that.
You can volunteer to monitor water quality.
There we
With our
go.
stream team. We have a training coming up in October. And that's a really good way also to get experience in science.
I love that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Orca Recovery Day. First off, what is it?
Orca Recovery Day is a region-wide day of service to connect people with what conservation districts are doing that help Orca.
Okay.
So we started this event, my boss Alan and I, last year after the Orca, what was her name? Oh yeah, Taliqua.
Oh, yes.
Right? Everybody was so sad about that, or the baby dying and her pushing it around. Like we were really affected by that. And I was noticing the news coverage was like understandably very sad, but I was thinking about how there's a lot of things that conservation districts do and a lot of organizations are doing actually to help Orca. And so I was talking to Alan about it, and so we just decided to do a Facebook post like, hey, we know people are sad about what this is happening, but this is like what you can do
To prevent this.
To prevent this, and Alan ended up contacting our local radio station, and so we were just so impressed by the interest there was, so we decided to put together an event to connect people with what we do and how it can help Orca, because we want people to be hopeful. There's a lot of things that are being done. It's just that people don't necessarily know, and we want people to connect in a personal way to ways that they can help Orca.
Part of the solution.
Right, be part of the solution, right?
So walk
not
me through
powerless.
this day. What will I see? What will be there? Will there be food?
Right, so I can walk you through what it looked like last year.
Perfect.
So what we did was we started out talking a little bit about what Orca Recovery Day was, and we had a couple Puyallup tribal members come and talk about that, because I think it's so like when we think about orcas, it's not just about losing an important ecological part of our environment, but also it's like so important to the history
It's
and
spiritual.
spirituality of the indigenous people. So, and we did like a tree planting, and at the same time, actually before we started, we have booths with resources to connect people to things that they can do besides working with us. So there was like a Tacoma Public Utilities booth, Harbor Wild Watch, Nisqually Land Trust was there. And actually, somebody ended up putting a dog waste bag in dispenser in the neighborhood out of that event, which was great.
That.
Yeah, and so we also had at the same time, or afterwards, towards the end, a member of the Tlingit tribe who, like Orca, is like really important to them, tell a story that was really inspiring.
I love that. So,
And there was also pizza.
oh, okay, there we go. Food.
And music. So it was like a celebration. It was like a, people connecting to each other and to the different resources and feeling inspired.
What surprised you the most about last year's event?
What surprised me the most? Well, at the end of the event, we actually had a whale sighting. It was so amazing.
That's a sign.
Right? It was kind of like, I feel like the orca, well, it wasn't an orca, it was a different kind of whale.
But they're part of the family.
Yeah, it really seems like there's this connection. Like, orca and whales are really intelligent animals. And I feel like they're just asking for our help.
Yes.
Right? And this is like a really, I don't know, it was so meaningful. I think that was what struck me too. And also having the storytelling, it was just, I think everybody left feeling like inspired about what they could do and actually knowing concrete things they could do to help. So it's like, it's about, it was service and it was also connecting. It was meaningful.
It was the full circle.
It was the full circle.
Pierce Conservation nailed this.
Right. And this is like a region-wide event. So that was our event, but we're going to have like 5 partner events here. And so there's like so many different ways to get involved.
So speaking of that, last 10 seconds, who do we need to thank?
Go to betterground.org for more information, and we should thank the Washington Conservation Commission, the Milgard Foundation, and One Tree Planted. They're all great sponsors.
And I want to thank you and your team for all the great education and the resources that you provide for us, from water to cleanup to orcas have teeth. In between. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And please come back and visit us soon.
Okay, thank you for
You're
having
welcome,
me.
my dear. My pleasure. All right, we're going to have a quick break, and then you're going to find out what Canoba means. You don't want to miss that. We'll be right back.